Am I wrong for telling my brother's fiancée to grow up and stop trying to put her anger and trauma on me? My brother Matt is engaged to Evelyn. Matt is our parents' bio son. I'm their adopted daughter. We have another sister who is a bio and two more brothers who are adopted. Our parents fostered many kids and adopted some of us. I always knew I was adopted. I was removed from an unsafe environment and didn't have any safe bio relatives. My bio family is tiny in terms of known, and none of them are good people. I'm glad I was adopted. I feel so lucky to have found a family who embraced the fact we were not biologically connected but loved us the same and didn't try to make it shameful. Those of us who were adopted have our own circumstances for being so. One of my brothers was orphaned and his biological parents wanted a family who would love and take care of him, and he got that with us. Matt's fiancée Evelyn was adopted as an infant and she has a lot of feelings about that. I understand why she has some complicated feelings regarding being adopted and why she feels like her parents bought a child because they wanted one versus wanting to give a child a good life. Her adoptive parents wanted to erase her bio side and shamed her for ever having an interest in it, and they talked badly about her birth family her whole life. I don't think that was right or okay. But Evelyn is obsessed with making every adoptee feel the same way she does. She has spoken negatively about my parents robbing 3 kids of their rights to have legal access to their biological family history and identity. She has suggested I was brainwashed by CPS into believing I was removed for safety reasons from my birth family and had no safe birth relatives. Spoiler alert. All my known birth relatives have all been to prison multiple times, and yes, I looked them up. She has told me I'm just traumatized and afraid to speak out and say I was denied my real family. I told her that's not how I feel. She told me it's how we all feel. That adopted kids are products in the US. I told Matt I couldn't take that. And I'd need to see him and Evelyn less if she can't stop. She keeps seeking me out though, and on Saturday, while she was in my parents' home and tried to bring it up again, I snapped. I couldn't stand her talking like that about the people who was in the home of, and I told her to grow up and accept people are different because only kids think everyone should feel the same and that. She needed to stop putting her anger and trauma on me because we don't feel the same. She said I was spiteful throwing that in her face. Am I wrong? Am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for refusing to attend my sister's 4th wedding? My sister is about to get married for the 4th time, but this is her 2nd marriage. Confused? Let me explain. My sister Emily got married when she was 20 to Adam. She had Eliza and Ryan with Adam. But Adam sadly died when the kids were 3 and 5. Emily met John a year later at a group for widowed parents. They started dating about 18 months after they met and got married 7 months into a relationship. John has 3 kids with his late wife who are now 13, 11, and 10. At their first wedding the kids were unhappy and as a result they acted out and ruined the wedding. In reality the photos were a mess because the kids didn't want to be in them, wouldn't smile, there was fighting, etc. They wouldn't sit together and one of them knocked over the wedding cake. In addition, there was so much attention on the kids that Emily and John felt their day had been overshadowed. So they went into therapy, and after a little more than a year they decided to redo their wedding and try to make it perfect the second time around. But the kids were still unhappy and the wedding was still miserable for Emily and John because they had not created a blended family like they wanted, and the kids were very open about this during the wedding and again didn't want to sit together or pose for photos. Emily and John now have almost 2 more kids together. They have a daughter and Emily is expecting again. They want to retry the wedding once their last child is here. But their kids are still not blended and their household is intense and messy and not happy in the slightest. They are still in therapy though. Most of the family are willing to do this so Emily can have a happy wedding. But I made it clear I won't be attending this 4th wedding. Emily told me I should be a supportive younger brother and come to the next wedding. I told her I was at her other 3 and I didn't want to attend several more of her weddings because she's trying to create a happy image when her family isn't happy. She told me I should be willing to attend as many as it takes, and this next one is hopefully going to be it. She told me I shouldn't be judging her anyway. That she's doing her best. Am I the a-hole? Am I wrong for wasting everyone's time in therapy because I was accused of lying? My mom, her husband, and I are in group therapy with each other. We started therapy a few weeks after Father's Day because that was the final straw for them to insist we all needed therapy to work on why I won't let us be the family they want. We started at the end of July, and by the end of August my mom accused me of lying. Called me a liar and laid out this really big sob story about how much it hurt to have me lie to her and do everything in my power to destroy her marriage. It pissed me off so bad. I didn't lie at any point of this. I said as much in the follow-up session, and the therapist asked me to outline my side and how I felt having mom call me a liar. My mom kept trying to interrupt me. She told the therapist to shut up and she accused me of being a vicious liar then. To give some explanation about the situation, my mom and her husband got married 3 years ago. They moved in together 2 months before. Before moving in, they sat me down and asked me if I was okay with us moving in together and making a family of 3 again. Mom brought up how we'd have a man around the house again and how good it would be for her to have a husband and for me to have a dad, and he said he couldn't wait to be my dad and he always wanted to be a dad. He said he already had plans for us for Father's Day. This was February of 3 years ago. I told them I wasn't okay with that stuff. That I didn't want another dad, wouldn't let him be my dad, and was not about to spend Father's Day celebrating someone who isn't dad. They started laughing and proceeded as normal, but Father's Day became a struggle because I have not spent the day with him the last 3 years and he has tried, so has my mom. I meant what I said. I never called him dad or let him fill the role in my life. This year he snapped and he had a temper tantrum and said I was supposed to be with him on Father's Day and not spending the day alone, and he didn't sign up to be nothing to me. My mom called me a liar because she said I promised to develop a close relationship with her husband and that I said yes to wanting what they asked. She said I had said I would give him Father's Day, and I lied and I have not followed through on any of it. She said I made them think I would be a willing participant and I wanted us to be a family. It pisses me off because I never said what she claims, and I even repeated what I had said back then. The therapist couldn't get mom to apologize, and she has no control over the sessions where my mom and her husband dominate. So I'm totally silent and I zone out. They only realized this 2 weeks ago. They called me on it and I spoke up again after more than a month of no talking in therapy. To confirm I wasn't listening, and it came up last week, and I said I was done engaging because I was owed an apology for being called a liar. My mom and her husband are pissed that I'm wasting everyone's time letting therapy happen. Ida? Am I the a-hole for laughing at my ex's mother and telling her how much child support I've been receiving? My ex and I parted ways back in 2023. Ever since it happened, the communication with him and his family has been rocky. He was not interested in providing for our child, and I had to apply for child maintenance. He's in debt with them and has only paid about £120 in total. I've not been on good terms with his parents. Amongst other things, they asked me not to apply for child maintenance, etc., as their boy cannot afford it, and so on. So you could say we're not the best of friends. Here's where the problem started. They recently found out about quite a few concerts I'm planning to go to. Yes, I posted about it on Facebook, but they have no access to my accounts. I don't know how exactly they found that info. Recently, during child drop-off, my ex's mother got very upset about the concert mumbo-jumbo and started telling me off for making my ex pay child support I just waste on myself, and so on. I couldn't hold it in and just started laughing, which aggravated her even more. When she stopped ranting and I stopped giggling, I told her that her son's child support wouldn't even cover the travel cost of the trip. And they can rest assured that I don't live off of his child support, given that I wouldn't be able to raise my child on that amount, let alone the both of us. I should have stopped there, but I also added that so far we've received approximately £10 month note. I said that without doing the math. Truthfully, it's £11.09 LOL, which doesn't even cover the cost of fruit my child eats, so neither of them has any say in how I spend my own money. Note. I'm not sure if it matters, but yes, I work full-time, so I spend my earned money. She called me a liar and stormed off. Now their whole family are upset with me, saying that I was rude and they expect apologies. I was also told that I was an asshole for telling them how much I actually receive, as it's put my ex in a bad light. My friends are divided too. Some found the situation hilarious, and others say that while it was fair to stand up for myself, I shouldn't have told her how much I get in CHM. In my defense, I had no idea it was such a big secret. I genuinely assumed she just didn't care about the amount and just focused on the idea of me getting any money from them. Also, it's worth noting, my child didn't witness this interaction. She was already indoors. I'm sure it would have gone differently with the kid present. So, AITA for laughing and telling her how much CHM I've been receiving?